Welcome to Dark Love Psychology. Have you ever wondered why some people are utterly magnetic? They command attention and inspire devotion, often without saying much at all. We're taught that clear communication is key, but the truth is far more complex. Sometimes, what truly makes someone obsessed with you isn't what you say, it's what you don't say. The deliberate silence that hangs in the air, pregnant with meaning. The unfinished sentence that invites them to complete your thought. The subtle, almost imperceptible shift in your tone that changes everything. These hidden signals are the language of the subconscious. They bypass logical analysis and speak directly to the heart, triggering deep curiosity, profound emotional investment, and an almost primal attraction. They make the other person an active participant in the mystery of you. In today's video, we'll break down the psychology of subtext, the art of the unsaid, and show you how to wield it with intention and grace, turning fleeting moments into unforgettable connections. Chapter 1. What is subtext, the silent message? Think of communication as an iceberg. The words you speak are the small, visible tip. Subtext is the vast, hidden mass beneath the surface. It's the real message that's felt, not just heard. It's the emotional truth, the unspoken desires, the subtle power dynamics that truly define an interaction. It's the difference between a text that says, "I'm busy," and one that implies, "You're not my priority." It's when a lingering gaze across a crowded room says more than 1,000 shouted words. Why is this so powerful? Because our brains are wired for it. We are social creatures, constantly scanning for these hidden cues to understand true intentions. When you make someone work, even slightly, to decipher your meaning, their mind becomes engaged. They invest mental energy. People respond far more emotionally to what they conclude themselves than to what is simply explained to them.
I guess I'll survive without you tonight. I want you to come.
The first statement is a playful challenge, creating intrigue and desire. The second is a simple request. One is forgettable, the other is magnetic. Let's be clear, subtext isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about adding depth, richness, and intrigue to your communication. It's the ingredient that elevates a mundane interaction into something resonant and unforgettable, leaving them thinking about you long after the conversation is over. Chapter 2. Why subtext triggers emotional investment. When someone doesn't tell us everything, our brains instinctively try to fill in the blanks. This powerful psychological principle is known as the Zeigarnik effect. Our minds are wired to seek closure and completion. When faced with an unfinished story, an unanswered question, or an ambiguous signal, our brain flags it as unresolved business. It can't just let it go. This mental fixation on incomplete information is what creates a deep sense of mystery and intrigue. It compels the other person to shift from a passive observer to an active participant in your narrative. They begin to analyze your signals, replay your words, and search for clues in your behavior. This cognitive effort isn't just a mental exercise, it's an emotional one. They become invested in finding the answer because, on a subconscious level, they are trying to resolve the tension in their own mind. Think about the subtle power of saying, maybe, instead of a clear yes or no. It opens a loop. It suggests possibility without commitment, forcing the other person to wonder about your conditions, your hesitation, and your true desires. Or the classic act of leaving a message on read after a particularly engaging or flirtatious exchange. The silence that follows is not empty. It's filled with questions. Did I say something wrong? Are they busy? Are they playing games? That void you create becomes a space for their mind to work, to speculate, and to invest. Even something as simple as smiling to yourself but not explaining why can be incredibly magnetic. It creates a private world that the other person is not yet privy to, making them want to be let in. The less you reveal, the more they lean in, driven by that innate human need for closure. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you receive a non-urgent but interesting question via text, instead of replying immediately, wait. Not for hours, but perhaps until the next day. This isn't about playing games, but about giving your response more weight. The slight delay creates a small information gap, making your eventual answer feel more considered and valuable. It breaks the cycle of instant gratification and introduces a layer of thoughtful engagement. A common question is, isn't this just manipulation? And it's a fair one. The distinction lies in intent. Manipulation aims to control someone for selfish gain, often dishonestly. Using subtext effectively, however, is about creating depth, intrigue, and mutual discovery in communication. It's the difference between a cheap plot twist and a genuinely compelling mystery. The goal is to invite curiosity and connection, not to deceive or coerce. It's about making your interactions more memorable and meaningful. Chapter 3. Tonality and Microexpressions, the Unspoken Language. But subtext isn't only in the words you withhold, it's powerfully present in how you deliver the words you choose to say. Your tonality, your facial expressions, your body language. These nonverbal channels are constantly broadcasting what you really mean, often more truthfully than your words themselves. They are the music beneath the lyrics. Consider the power of pauses. A well-placed moment of silence creates anticipation, giving your words a stage to land on. Microexpressions, those fleeting, tiny smiles, quick eyebrow lifts, or shifts in eye contact, can betray or enhance your verbal message in a fraction of a second. And your vocal tone, whether it's soft and intimate, light and teasing, or firm and confident, completely reframes the meaning of your words. Saying, "Oh, really?" with a raised eyebrow and a slight smile can be playful and flirtatious. The same words, delivered with a flat tone and narrowed eyes, can signal suspicion or disbelief. The words are identical, but the subtext creates two entirely different realities. Mastering this unspoken language means you become the conductor of the emotional orchestra in your interactions. You don't just convey information, you shape feelings, guide interpretations, and create a richer, more nuanced connection. You control the emotional weight and texture of every single interaction, making you not just heard, but felt. Chapter 4. How to use subtext in attraction. In romantic and dating contexts, subtext is a magnet. When you don't over-explain your emotions, people chase your meaning, tease without explaining, compliment indirectly. "I like your energy" instead of "you're beautiful." Pause after giving a small hint, saying "you're dangerous" with a smile. "I didn't say that I don't like you." This forces the other person to invest emotionally. They want to decode you. Chapter 5. Subtext in Texting and Online Communication. Even in texting, subtext is powerful. The way you time, punctuate, or leave things unsaid changes how your message lands. "Oh, interesting." Use short replies intentionally. Don't explain everything right away. Let your silence speak. Online, less is often more. A little mystery builds attraction. Chapter 6. The psychology behind subtext power. Why does subtext work so well? Because it doesn't just communicate with a person's conscious mind, it speaks directly to the subconscious. It leverages fundamental principles of human psychology, turning a simple conversation into an engaging, memorable experience. Our brains are wired for it. It starts with the curiosity gap. Our minds are pattern-seeking machines that crave closure. When information is missing, our brain flags it as an unsolved puzzle. This is known as the Zeigarnik effect. We remember incomplete tasks far more vividly than completed ones. Subtext creates that gap, forcing the other person to lean in and mentally engage to solve the puzzle. Then there's emotional projection. When you leave a statement open to interpretation, you create a blank canvas. The other person has no choice but to fill in the blanks using their own feelings, hopes, and fears. Their emotional investment deepens, because the meaning they find is partly their own creation. Finally, the scarcity effect. In a world of constant noise and over-explanation, silence and brevity are rare. When your words are carefully chosen and sparingly used, they gain immense weight and value. Each word matters more because there are fewer of them. Imagine someone says, "We'll see," or you get a one-word text that just says, "Noted." That simple ambiguity can make someone wonder for hours. They replay it, analyze the tone, obsess over the possibilities. Was it dismissive? Was it intrigued? Was it a promise? Their mind is now actively working, dedicating cognitive resources to. Subtext is like planting a thought that grows on its own, its roots weaving through their subconscious. You aren't just giving them information, you're giving them a mental project. Chapter 7. How to train subtext skills. You can train subtext communication like a muscle, or like a musician tuning an instrument. It's about developing a deep sensitivity to the nuances of delivery. Start with the fundamentals. First, master the art of the pause. Before you answer a question, take a breath. This small gap creates anticipation and makes your eventual words feel more considered. Second, practice intentional tone shifts. Say less and observe reactions. Watch how a slight change in your voice can alter the entire feeling of a sentence. Third, become an observer of people. Go to a coffee shop and just watch interactions. Notice the non-verbal cues, the small gestures, the shifts in posture. This builds your observational library. Here's a powerful exercise. Record yourself saying, "Oh, really?" in 5 different tones: genuinely curious, playfully skeptical, coolly detached, warmly encouraging, and subtly seductive. Play them back. Notice how the meaning completely transforms even when the words are identical. This is you, learning to play your instrument. The more control you have over your delivery, your tone, your pacing, your pauses, the more power your silence holds. Your presence begins to speak for you. Chapter 8. Subtext versus manipulation, the ethical line. Subtext is powerful, but with great power comes great responsibility. This is not a tool for mind games or emotional exploitation. The line between artful communication and toxic manipulation is drawn with one simple word: intent. Ask yourself, what is my goal? If your subtext is designed to build connection, create playful intrigue, or invite someone to engage more deeply, it's a tool for positive connection. But if your intent is to create fear, foster insecurity, or force someone into a state of anxiety to gain control, you have crossed the line into manipulation. Healthy subtext leaves the other person feeling curious and engaged. Toxic subtext leaves them feeling confused and inadequate. Be intentional. Your goal isn't control, it's magnetism. It's not about making someone feel small, it's about creating a space so intriguing they choose to step into it themselves. Use this power to build bridges, not walls. Words communicate, but subtext captivates. When you learn to control what's implied, you create a magnetic presence that makes people think about you long after the conversation ends. If you found this powerful, don't just watch, practice it. Start with one phrase today and watch how people respond differently. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to Dark Love Psychology for more insights and tips to help you succeed. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next video.